Alright, hi, this is Brady Hoeper, and this is going to be my Type A presentation for User Interface, the undergraduate course. I'm recording and sending this video via email, and then also I can try and find a place to submit it on Canvas as well, because I'm taking the class asynchronously, and unfortunately, I'm not able to make the classes to present live to my fellow students. So this is going to be the Type A presentation, and I'll get started. So, my project is the electronic phone book, a one-stop for all contacts by Brady Hoeper. So, the problem statement is in today's world, we have so many different apps, so many different outlets, so many different places to keep up with friends, coworkers, and so on, family members. There's so many different people that we talk to, and there's so many different ways that we talk to people. We have our cell phones, so text messages. There's even iMessage. You could be FaceTiming people. You have email. Um, there's Google messaging service, Facebook messaging service, and on and on and on. So if you want to be a person who has a nice social life and keeps up with your friends and works a lot, then you need to be on your phone or device all day checking many, maybe up to a dozen different apps just to stay in communication with the people you need to. So I believe that there is something we can do about that, and that would be to import all these into a single app. So in this app, it would be a one-stop application that syncs all of your friends, all of your contacts, coworkers, and so on into a single device or application. So this could be phone contacts, Facebook contacts, Google contacts, work contacts, email services. So for me personally, uh, I work part-time while I take classes at UC. So I'm constantly on my phone looking at Outlook. I also have to look at Microsoft Teams because that's where we do our quick chats. Um, I have a Gmail that is my personal email that I have to keep up with. I have um, a UC email, which is through Outlook as well. And then that doesn't even count all of my social networking with my friends, such as Facebook and so on. So I believe a single app that could uh, use the APIs provided to synchronize all these apps together. So the design I went for was something of very plain and simpleness. So the point of the app is we want to there's so much clutter out there, so much stuff to fish through that it'd be nice to have a moment of clarity where I just open my app, I see my contacts, I see my messages, and that's all there is. So that was the design going in. I just want it to be very simple, I want it to be very plain, and I want functionality to be the number one key. The options, I want them to be very clear. You can move screens, you can click on the contact, you can edit the contact, you can click on the Facebook, Google, or Outlook button to sync all your contacts, but it needs to be very simple. It needs to be very apparent to the user what it is making this selection on the screen does. There shouldn't be any need for help, no help button or no reason to ever Google anything. The functionality is going to be super simple and super apparent. So my implementation, I decided to use C# WinForms. Uh, Number one, it was something that was very familiar to me, and number two is it is a front-end experience that is very familiar to many users. So pretty much anything you use on Windows, it has a window form, and the C# WinForm pretty much mimics this. So WinForms are a great tool for creating software that needs a user interface. It's actually very compatible and portable and can be ported to smart devices. But Windows desktop application is just the start. It can be changed. Um, and also there's many options for in the toolbox that is labels, text boxes, pictures, rich text boxes, so on and so on. There's so many different things you can do. And then I chose C# because there's great XML functionality. So I store the users, the contacts, all the data I can store in XML documents because that's another form of a database essentially. And I can encode passwords And then also, since I want to sync all the contacts with Google, Facebook, and Microsoft APIs, or through their platforms, they have APIs available that allow me to synchronize all these things together. And then also C Sharp is very robust. It's very powerful. It's very new, but it's also very simple. It does everything a programming language needs to do. So here's just a very quick demo. Give you the feel for what I was going for and the essential screens. So the first is going to be a login screen. Now, it's just a username and password. You don't have to verify anything. It's simply make this username, make this password, boom, you can log in. This is to prevent people from, if they steal your stuff, getting a hold of your contacts, getting your personal information, so on and so on. One of the good things about this is we don't really store too much personal information that isn't just widely available on the internet anyway. So username or the welcome screen just takes your username and password. You can log in. You can create a new user. I did not show the screen because it's a little bit superfluous for this demonstration. But if you hit login and you're successful, you get to the contact screen and it lists your contacts alphabetically. And you can search for contacts and it will pull them up as well at the top. And you can add a contact or delete a contact. If you hit add a contact, I didn't show the add or delete screen, but it looks pretty similar to the one on the right. It'll ask for phone number, email, their address, and then also the buttons at the bottom, the Google, Facebook, and Outlook allow you to sync those up with it. And the third screen is the individual contact screen. So on this screen, you can see you can go back to contacts before. You can edit that contact. You can have a picture for them, change their name, phone number, email, address. You can click on Google, and then you can import them from a Google, your Google, Facebook, and Outlook as well, using their API. So it's very simple. It's very secure because their APIs are designed that way. So very robust. It's not super pretty, it's not very glamorous, but that is the point of this. It is to be very simple, very straightforward. The user knows exactly what they're getting with each click and each selection they make. So for the insight I drew from this user interface project and the user experience is the simplicity is key because at the end of the day, users respond to functionality. If your software is good, people will use it. Now, the only downside, the only thing you can mess up is if your software is good, is if it's not very usable. The software can work perfect, but if it's not usable, as in it's not clear to the user how to use it, it could be defined as user error, but it might not be the user's fault. So we want to minimize options, but we also want to make these options that they do have very clear and very apparent. Because users do respond to the ease of use. And the last thing is users do not embrace large change. Users do embrace some change, and particularly when that change is functionality improvements or enhancements. But large change typically turns people off. So there's no reason to ever stray away from the path that we're taking here. And I think those are the important things I've learned. Once again, the application itself is very simple. It's not pretty, but it's straight to the point. And perhaps if this project was taken on more seriously and a public fashion, um, uh, there could be improvements for sure. But I believe the functionality is still key here. I'd like to thank you very much for viewing my Type A presentation. This has been Brady Hoeper. If you have any questions regarding the presentation, please reach out to me. Thank you so much.